Hello, everybody. This is Martha with Living the One Light. And today I would like I'm feeling called to drop into some energies and messages that I'm getting with regard to the full moon coming up in Libra, but also some continuing energies that are related to this full moon in Libra that have been very strong for me leading up to Pluto entering Aquarius, and then now with Pluto having entered Aquarius. There is a very consistent message that I'm getting in my praying and in myself that I've touched on and that I want to go into more deeply. And it's also very, very, very related to this full moon. So the theme essentially is the importance of being fully, completely, truly aligned as ourselves, as the intelligence of the divine, and being grounded and rooted in that reality that we are the earth, we are light beings, and that the earth is a light being. And that I personally feel called, but I think I'm being asked to share this message. So I think it's not just me being asked to do this. I think many of us are being called to truly radically, in some way, whatever is right for each of us in each moment, to become more and more and more fully and completely this reality that we are beings of source. We are beings of the divine. We are beings of light, ultimately, and the energy of light. And we are also earth. So earth is a being of light and a being of the cosmos and a being of the divine and a being of source too. And I say all of this, with this major caveat that it's really important that we make this shift, that we transition into the reality of ourselves as beings of light, but in a grounded, reality-based way, not that we just float into nothing, right? So I want to talk a little more about that whole concept of radically realigning as the intelligence of the divine. And then I want to bring that to how that feels so integral to this full moon in Libra, and also just the energies of this whole time, the Aries Libra axis being very strongly highlighted this month, next month, and then in July when the nodes switch into Aries and Libra. So where to start? Okay, I think I will start with, on a really basic level, just diving in a little more into what Aries and Libra are. And I've talked about this some, and lots of other people talk about this, but I'm feeling called to just name it a little bit more. So Aries and Libra are signs of the zodiac that are opposite each other. And when anything is opposite each other, we can think of them as quote unquote opposing each other. In other words, like maybe having a fight with each other. I don't like to think of it that way. I don't feel like that's very helpful. The way I think of it is that all these polarities ultimately are a medicine in two different ways. One is to help us fully explore, fully go into each of the polarities, each of the full Aries and the full Libra. Both have medicine and have wisdom. And it feels extremely important for us to explore those extremes. And at the same time, The ultimate goal, though, is to bring it all to balance, bring it all to oneness, bring it all to wholeness. But I don't believe in, usually, I mean, again, do what feels right for you. But for me, it doesn't feel right to just ignore the polarities and only do the middle. Because for me, the polarities do have, again, a certain version of expression of the divine that's medicinal and healing in its own way. And then at the same time, again, for me, it's not about staying in one polarity or another polarity. It's really about then integrating both and holding it all as one wholeness. So when it comes to Libra and Aries, again, as I've talked about, on a basic level, it's to me really about the balance between knowing our own needs, knowing our own self, having the courage and the what's the word? Confidence, confidence to be true to ourselves, to be true to our own needs, to know our own needs, to be able to name them, to be able to act on them, to take action. And then the Libra energy is about being able to listen to the other, being able to balance and harmonize with the other, being fair and just in relation to everything. So not only thinking about ourselves, being able to hold all of it at the same time. And a component of the Aries energy that feels really important to name also is that in a balanced and healthy version of the Aries energy, like Mars being ruled by Aries, Aries being ruled by Mars. When I think about Mars and the Mars cycle, we think of Mars and Aries energy being about going out and doing adventures, going out and seeking the next thing, clearing the way, clearing the path for our evolution. That's definitely part of it. And the reality is, if you think about Mars or anything in our solar system, it doesn't have a linear trajectory. It doesn't leave the orbit and never come back. It's always in its orbit around the sun. So even when it goes, the farthest, let's say, from the Earth that it can get, it then circles back. And so similarly with the Mars and Aries energy, it's not an energy that is meant to be all about me. I'm going to go do my thing. See you later. Goodbye. Sometimes that might be important and sometimes that might be necessary, but really ultimately that Mars and Aries energy is going out to do its adventure, going out to clear a path for evolution, and it's doing it in service of the whole. So it's in a sense doing it in service of Libra, kind of. I guess you could put it like that. But then Libra can have a tendency to forget about the Mars Aries energy. It can be an energy that gets lost in the other. So it's like the yin yang symbol, right? It's like when you're on the side of the yin yang, that's maybe the Libra energy, it needs a dot of remembering the Aries. And when you're in the other side of the yin yang symbol as Aries, it needs that dot of remembering Libra. That the Aries energy is actually in service of balancing with other and being part of relationship. And the Libra energy has to also remember the me, the I, my needs, and not get only completely lost in listening to the other, serving, losing myself to the relationship. So in order to have that wholeness of the full yin yang symbol, it's important to have all of it balanced at the same time. Okay. So what's really cool to me about this full moon, and what I'm being drawn to over and over and over again, is when we are trying to essentially do the Aries side of that Libra Aries axis polarity balance, it can be really hard to figure out how to do the Aries in a way that feels healthy, not and healthy and grounded and truly, yeah, compassionate. It just can feel hard. It can be easy when you're attempting to do the Aries thing to be angry, defensive, even violent with words, actions, to go to war. Like you can want to defend yourself and fight. And again, sometimes maybe that is important. However, what I'm getting called to in this time in myself and in the world, and what I see also in the astrology of this full moon, is that one answer or solution to finding our way into a truly harmonious, balanced Libra Aries relationship is actually related to Aquarius and Uranus. Okay, how? Well, this full moon, the moon itself, is going to be in conjunct Uranus. So the full moon is going to be, the moon is going to be at 16 degrees of Libra, the sun will be at 16 degrees of Aries, and Uranus is at 16 or 17 degrees of Taurus. Okay. And just to add in, one huge thing about this full moon is that the sun is also conjunct Chiron and Jupiter. So there's this element of us maybe having hurts, struggles, like we've really tried hard to do this Aries energy thing, and it has been very difficult. Maybe there's a lot of wounding there. Maybe we've been working really hard to heal our relationship to that Aries energy on lots and lots of levels. Like it's been maybe very difficult to know what I feel, know what I need, name it, not get hurt if I name it. So there could be a lot there just that's being healed in that whole Aries energy. Okay. And then Uranus is in conjunct to the moon. So an inconjunct or a quincunx is an energy that often is thought of as difficult to reconcile, because an inconjunct is 150 degrees. So it's not exactly opposite. So like Libra to Aries is 180 degrees. But Libra to Taurus is 150 degrees. And when you have two things that are opposite each other, they share the same mode. So Libra and Aries are both cardinal signs. They're not the same element. Libra is air and Aries is fire. But at least they have the same mode. They're both in that cardinal, like initiatory kind of energy. So and they're opposing each other, which means they're facing each other. So there can be, like with oppositions, there can be the sense that we are opposite and we're never going to see eye to eye, but the reality is actually if you're opposite, you are eye to eye. so so there can be then like this incredible attraction and an ability to really meet in the middle. I've experienced that a lot in myself. Like, because I have let's say, for example, I have my Venus in Aries. And when I have interacted with people with their Venus in Libra, that's been some of the most intense, strong attractions I've had in my life, right? And it's like, it can be a really beautiful coming together in the middle. Okay, so, but if you have something in an inconjunct, the modes are different and the element is different. So Libra is an air cardinal sign. Taurus, which is inconjunct to Libra, is a fixed sign and earth. So they don't have anything in common in a sense. So it can feel like difficult to reconcile these two energies. So when we're talking about the full moon in Libra and then this Uranus in Taurus, there can be an element maybe of feeling like I don't know how to be in relationship to others and be in hold myself as the intelligence of the divine as earth, Uranus in Taurus. However, the cool thing about that particular inconjunct is that Libra and Taurus are both ruled by Venus. And at the time of this full moon, Venus will actually just have passed a conjunction with Uranus and will still be in Taurus. So as I'm making this video, this is several days before the full moon, and Venus is just coming into its conjunction with Uranus. And I think that's part of the energy that I'm feeling, which is, so Venus, again, which is ruling Libra and ruling Taurus, is currently in Taurus, about to conjunct Uranus, and ruling the sign of that upcoming full moon. So what I feel in that Venus-Uranus conjunction, and just in general, what I'm feeling, because Uranus also rules now Pluto in Aquarius. And I did a free gathering on Pluto and Aquarius, and lots of you were there and lots of you watched that video. Had a whole channeled message and experience of Pluto moving into Aquarius and what the spirit world was wanting to say about all of that. It was really beautiful and powerful, and please go back and watch that video. So, but what I'm feeling in general in my praying, what I'm getting shown over and over and over again is that it is absolutely crucial that we come back into the reality and the full total alignment of ourselves as the divine, as the intelligence of the divine, Uranus. And that we do that even when, and maybe even especially when, we are relating to the other, Libra, Venus. So Venus coming to a conjunction with Uranus, it's like right now, as I'm making this video, they're in a balsamic, they're in a balsamic phase. The balsamic phase, the balsamic part of their cycle. So I feel this energy of letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, of how we have been relating to others, and coming into this new cycle of Venus and Uranus, where we can be in relation to others through the anchor of the grounded completely full anchor of the reality that we each are the literal intelligence of the divine. And that is where we need to begin, need to start. That's a huge key to figuring out, how do I do this Aries thing? So, like, again, the Aries energy can be really tricky to find an anchor that feels truly aligned, that feels really in service of everything, because it can feel very selfish, very just all about me and my needs, which ultimately it's not. But it can be hard to kind of wade through the Aries energy to get to center. But the Uranian energy, the aspect of the Uranian energy that is about the reality that we are the intelligence of the divine, that is pure, that is clear, that is very simple in a certain way. And that is the ultimate anchor that I feel us being, or I speak for myself, but I think a lot of us are being called to really ground, really center in that reality, in that alignment, ourselves as the intelligence of the divine, ourselves as beings of light, beings of earth, beings of the divine, beings of source. And really sitting, being fully, completely in that reality of what it is to be light beings. Again, with the grounded reality that the earth also is a being of light, and the earth is a being of the cosmos, and the earth is a creation of source. I mean, it's all of those things. So it's not, when I'm talking about us remembering ourselves as beings of light, I mean that in a very, very grounded, integrated way, integrated in the reality that we are Earth, Uranus, and Taurus. Yeah, so as Pluto has been moving toward being in Aquarius, and now that it is in Aquarius, I'm feeling this so profoundly, so strongly, that there is no other way to be. Again, I'm speaking for myself, but I think it's true for many of us, because I'm being called to say this on a video, so I don't think it's just about me. That, we have to radically align now. Do it now. Do it right now. Align as the intelligence of the divine, and let go of anything and everything else that's not that. So Pluto being in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus and Taurus, and Uranus and Taurus being ruled by Venus, it's like Pluto, one of the gifts of Pluto is being able to clear out gunk, clear out anything that's not in service of our evolution on a deep soul level. So what I talked about, or what the channeled message actually ended up bringing through last week in that free gathering, which again, I'll put the link to that video here, is that the energy of Pluto being in Aquarius is like, it's like Uranus has to do with ourselves as energy beings, and the systems of our body and the systems of existence that are energy, that are electricity, that are light, literal actual light, and the flows of that light, that's the flows of that prana or chi, or whatever word you want to give to any of it. And Pluto moving into Aquarius, one of the big things I feel in that is that Pluto can be this beautiful gift of, in these streams of energy that move through our system and move through existence. They're like rivers, or like rivulets, or streams. And if you imagine a log getting stuck in a stream, Pluto can be an energy that just, gently, sometimes Pluto's not necessarily so gentle, the energy of it, but I'm using the word gentle on purpose because I'm going to set that intention. So Pluto can be an energy that gently, compassionately, with love, can move those logs out of the stream and place them again gently on the bank of the river or the bank of that stream, so that the log can then compost back into earth, and the streams of energy in our bodies and our systems, and in the body of the earth, in the body of everything, can flow completely, totally, freely. And we can then, therefore, be radically grounded and aligned and clear as the energy, the light, and the intelligence of the divine that we are. So this Pluto and Aquarius energy on that level is like amazingly, beautifully healing. This opportunity for incredible, like a whole different way of relating to ourselves as beings of light, and really coming back into the reality of ourselves as beings of light, being our light bodies, as we are also earth. And that sounds incredibly woo-woo and out there, and the intellectual part of me is like, what are you saying? But it's what I get shown over and over and over and over and over again in my praying, and I feel it happening in myself. So to bring it back to the full moon in Libra, how this impacts the whole Libra Aries thing is that, it's amazing, actually. So then when you are doing the Libra thing, when you're relating to another, when you're in a relationship of any kind, a friendship, romantic relationship, sexual relationship, business partnership, any of it, when you're relating to anything that you perceive as outside of yourself, again, it can feel really difficult to know how to be in that relationship and not lose yourself. So you maybe want to go to the Aries end and like really cling to, no, these are my needs and I'm going to defend you. I'm going to defend against you. I'm going to put up like big, no signs that say no. Which sometimes is really important. I'm not denying that, believe me. My South Node is in Aries, conjunct my Venus in Aries. I know the Aries thing very, 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 very well, and it serves and it has a purpose. And thank you, Aries. I love you and appreciate you. It is me. It is all of us, right? And it's there for a purpose. And this Uranian, Aquarian energy can be an amazing tool. And it's not only an amazing tool, but it's a big calling right now. Again, speaking for myself, but I think for lots of us, big calling with Pluto moving into Aquarius, to let our anchor be, to really cultivate our anchor as the reality that we are the intelligence of the divine. We are the light of the divine. We are that. And we can come into that grounding, that alignment, and just let our whole being move from there, be led from there. So the Aries energy has an anchor. It knows where it's coming from. It's coming from the reality that we are source, that we are the light of the divine. We are the intelligence of the divine. And that's what is going to, that's what's going to guide everything we do. And I can speak for myself that when I'm really grounded there and truly aligned in that place, so many things start happening. It's like the number one, if I have decisions I'm trying to make, that Uranian Aquarian energy can be very, very related to vision. So for me personally, what often will happen is if I'm really, 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 really grounded and aligned in that place, if I'm trying to make a decision, it's like that intelligence of the divine or the light will just show me visually. I mean, everybody's different, so this may or may not be how it is for you, but for me, what happens is I just get a visual, like very clear, like here's the energy of how things need to be or how things need to move. Like here's what the light would manifest as. And then so I see it and I see like, oh, okay, cool, got it. Here's how I'm going to act based on what I'm being shown. For you, it might just be a knowing in your body. For you, you might get a vision, you might hear something, you might, so many infinite possibilities. Another thing that happens for me is that when I'm truly grounded and aligned and clicked into that intelligence of the divine, myself as light, a light being, as earth, things start to click into place in terms of, opportunities, people, ideas, a book crossing my path, whatever it is. And I mean, that happens to us every day, but number one, often what will happen is that those kind of synchronicities will feel particularly aligned. And also I will have a much better sense of clarity, whether or not something that's crossing my path is actually in my best interest or not. Like, is this aligned as the divine? Yes or no? Is this aligned as me as the divine? Yes or no? It becomes so much more easy for me to discern my yes and my no. So like somebody enters my field and asks me to do something, right? When I'm clicked into myself as the light, it's so much more easy. I basically just feel into the light and I can see or feel, yes, that clicks in, like that opportunity clicks in to the flow of the light, or no, it doesn't. Or I might get a like, yes, it could, but not right now, or whatever it is. Yeah, and so much more. I mean, one other thing I can just name is another thing that happens for me personally is when I'm really grounded and aligned in that place, I also can see, this is another very Uranian thing, I can see the energetics of time and space. So there might be something I really want to do, but when I go into that more Uranian vision place, I get shown the energetics over time of like, let's say such and such opportunity or such and such connection is a yes in a sense, but the right timing for it fits in here and here and here. So that's really about the relationship between Uranus and Saturn. And that's a whole other conversation. But when I'm really clicked into myself as the light of the divine, it's like the light starts to show it. I have this relationship as the light, and the light starts to literally show me kind of where to place certain things that I'm doing or not doing, or yeah, so I get a much more clarity about timing of things, that like, yes, it would be in alignment for you to connect with so and so, but the right timing might be, in a few months or next week or today or yesterday or whatever. Yeah, and many, 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 many other ways sorry, one more thing I feel like I'm supposed to mention is another huge thing that this has done for me over the past many years, since I've come into this kind of alignment as the light. And that relationship with me as the light has changed a lot over the last many years, but it has been now many years since it started really happening. Another key thing, I think this is related to Uranus being in Taurus especially, is when I'm really grounded and aligned in that place, the needs of my body, myself as a being of earth, become much more easy to discern. Like, do I need rest? Do I need a certain kind of tea? Do I need a certain food? Do I need more protein? Do I whatever? Do I want to do some dance or yoga, or do I want to go for a walk? Do I want to go sit by the ocean? What is it that my body, Taurus, is really needing and calling? And the light is my body, right? So the intelligence of the divine is also the intelligence of me as a body, a being here as earth. Yeah, okay, that feels complete. All right, so yeah, I would just love to hear whatever resonates for you, doesn't resonate for you. If you are feeling drawn to, have more support around cultivating this in you and yourself in your life, really grounding, aligning, clearing as yourself as a being of the, the intelligence of the divine, etc. I do many things to support that. That is why I'm here. that's my purpose in life at this stage in my life. And so yeah, there are lots of free resources, lots of videos I've done. I've published the first 3 books of the Living the One Light series. Those are all on Amazon. They're Living the One Light, Gaia Speaks, and The Cosmos Speak. Those might be helpful to you. And they all talk about these similar things. I also have a monthly membership, and we meet. I have gatherings almost every week for people in the membership and people not in the membership. I'm going to be having, in the month of April, once a month, I have an infinite soul wisdom gathering where I do a channeled guided meditation. And in the month of April, that soul wisdom gathering will be on Friday, April 21st, and it will be focused on the eclipse season. So we'll be dropping into the energy of the eclipses, and that first eclipse will be at 29 degrees of Aries. I'll make a separate video about that as that gets a little closer, but yeah, we will drop into a channeled guided meditation regarding the energy of those eclipses, which are definitely highlighting this Aries Libra axis as well, among other things. Also in the month of April, the Goddess series that I'm doing with Verena Burrell is continuing. So we are currently, we do one goddess per month. We started with Persephone, then we did Ceres. Now this month we're on Hecate, and then next month we'll be on Hygeia. And you're always welcome to join that. We would love to have you. We have a really wonderful group of people in that at this point, and we're always welcoming you. So that is happening. And and I just last weekend held this deep Divine Peace Garden retreat with 9 other women. So I hosted it, but I invited 9 other women who are healers, practitioners, therapists of various kinds to do a 3-day retreat with me. And we had a wonderful group of people there. The whole thing was recorded. So it's 10 workshops that were recorded over 3 days, but now all the recordings are available along with, so it's those 10 workshops plus some additional videos, and that it's all geared toward supporting us to heal our nervous systems, to relieve anxiety, to relieve depression, and to heal the reality, meet the reality that our world is filled with trauma. There's chronic trauma always around us, and it's so important for us to have support, to be able to feel safe, feel held, feel nurtured, especially those of us who are givers, which probably you are if you're watching this. Those of us who tend to nurture others, to really be held, to get nurtured ourselves. And so that the recordings of that whole retreat are still available. There's a sliding scale fee for that, so to try to make it as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. And what else? I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting, but I don't know what it is. Oh, yes. Next Friday, April 6th, I want to say, let's see. No, April 7th. Friday, April 7th, I'm going to be holding my next Deep Peace and Healing Circle. So that is where I channel a guided experience from the spirit world, of whatever it is that is wanting to come through. Also, similar to that retreat, in service of you being able to just completely let go into the arms of the divine and have an hour and a half of just being held, and being, you getting nurtured, you getting what you need. So that's the Deep Peace and Healing Circle, April 7th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central European time. And that's also recorded, so you can be there live or not live. Yes. And then the last very humongous thing that I'm working on this next month or two is that in June, I will be hosting the second annual Rebecoming the One symposium. So that's going to be a free offering of many free talks and panel discussions regarding the healing, our collective healing, individual and collective healing of our relationship to gender and sexuality. So many of you were a part of that last year, and I had, hundreds and hundreds of people writing me and saying how much it impacted their lives and changed their lives. So I'm doing it again because it seems to be a need, and really excited about it. I will send out more information about that soon. I'm currently working on that website, and it will be available to sign up again for free. There will be some optional paid things, like there'll be some optional paid workshops by some of the speakers that are going to be really exciting and really fun. But you can access all of the pre-recorded talks and the panel discussions entirely for free, because I really want it to be accessible and a collective conversation. And at the same time, I need to support myself and my children. So some of it, there's also optional ways to either donate or pay a nominal amount for certain other additional things to help support me to continue to do that work. Okay. I think that is everything. If any of that interests you, please reach out to me, email me, you can go to my website. Definitely get on my email list if you're not already, and I will be sending out more information about everything I just said very soon. So I'm at livingtheonelight.com is my website, or livingtheonelight@gmail.com is my email. And thank you so much for listening. Happy almost full moon, and I will see you soon.